Did you guys heard about the incident before doing the film, or you just learned on
Of
the
the
film?
Komagatamaru?
Yeah, about the Kamagatamaru incident.
No, didn't know about it.
So, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's horrible. But that's probably why we both wanted to do the film.
Yeah.
Because it's an important story that a lot of people don't know about.
How was your experience working with the cast? You know, Gurpreet Kogi, Tarseem Chassar. So, how was it working with them?
Really amazing talent and passion and dedication for the craft, I would say. Certainly with with Gurpreet Kogi ji and Tarsam ji he was amazing as an inspiration to work with. He does this method acting thing, right, where he's not out of character.
I was doing a research about you, and I heard that Lagan was the film that you saw, and that was the reason you moved.
It's true, yeah. That was the first real Bollywood movie I'd ever seen, and it just blew me away. It just changed my life right there.
ਗੱਭਰੂ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਫਿਲਮ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਟਾਰ ਕਾਸਟ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ। ਤਾਂ ਆਓ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਹਾਈ ਗਾਇਸ।
Hi.
So you guys you've been living here for 18 years, right? How long you've been living here?
Full-time 7 years. But I came in 2010.
Okay. I was doing a research about you, and I heard that Lagan was the film that you saw, and that was the reason you moved.
It's true, yeah. That was the first real Bollywood movie I'd ever seen, and it just blew me away. It just changed my life right there.
What exactly was the part that
It's
inspired you?
just so beautiful, and the music and the emotion and that level of drama was. I realized that was something that was missing from my life, missing in Western cinema. So I just totally fell in love with it somehow, and I started watching Bollywood movies like every day, one after another.
Is that your favorite film, or?
It could still be my favorite film. Yeah.
I just heard like you guys were talking outside about Sholay.
Yeah.
You have seen the film?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I remember liking it. Yeah, I saw it a long time. I also watched a lot of Bollywood films when I first came in 2010 because I was doing research on a book. I was doing a photography book on the Living the Dream.
Living the Dream, yeah.
So, and I knew nothing about Bollywood, so I was just I was just blind when it came. So I was watching a whole bunch of films, and so that was one of them.
All right.
And Lagan also, it's a brilliant film. I mean,
It's so
brilliant. It's brilliant.
I know.
I heard that in that book, Living the Dream, you did about like 120 interviews, right?
Yeah.
And photographs. What was that about? Like, how was that experience?
So it's a documentation of what does life look like for an actor in Mumbai. Everyone from every branch of the tree, everyone from student to megastar to old TV actor, one-hit wonder, like every branch.
Do you have
Yeah.
Do you have an experience or a memory you would like to share?
Oh, I mean, God, there's so many. There's so many. I mean, honestly, one thing that jumps to mind is I wanted Vijay Raj so badly in the book. He was one guy I had to have in the book, just because I had seen him in Monsoon Wedding, and he was just such a wonderful character actor. And the truth is that the character actors sometimes are way more busy than the stars because they're shooting 6 different things, and they're constantly getting on a plane, going here, there, wherever, shooting everything. So it was so hard to get him into the book. But finally,
Vijay Raj.
So yeah, it's great.
I've read that you guys said that moving to India changed your life. How's that? Like, what part of India like you loved, or?
Hard to put my finger on any one thing in particular. All I know is that just being in India feels more like home to me than being in America, where I'm from.
Food is good, right?
What?
The food is good.
It's the food. It's the people. It's the spiritual strength of this land. I love the climate. I hate being cold. I love, and obviously the cinema, the music. I love Hindi, the sound of it is just captivated me from the beginning. So there's no one thing, but I think, yeah, just the people is what makes India really feel like home for me.
And there's a vitality I feel that I didn't, when I would go back to the U.S. in those early years, I started thinking to myself, wow, America it seems so,
Deserted.
It seems so manicured.
Deserted as
You know what I mean? It seems so manicured. Like everything is in its lane and everything is like
it's organized,
yeah, organized and perfect. And here everything is sort of
controlled
a
chaos,
to
I would
it.
say, yeah.
There's a chaos to it.
Organized chaos, I would say.
Yeah, but there's also in that you get a lot more intuitive. Like things are more intuitive. Things are more alive.
Things go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like it was really easy for me to learn how to drive in India for some reason. And it, to a lot of people from where I'm from, they see the way the traffic works in India. They're like, oh my God, this is crazy. How can you drive in India? It's crazy. It's chaos. But there is a logic. There are rules. There is a flow to it. And when I'm driving in the U.S., I get more anxiety just because there's so many rules that I'm afraid of breaking. And if I just go with the flow, I'm gonna, break those rules. But in India, it's more about, what's actually happening around you, not what the rules tell you to do.
Right. But the golden rule, I mean, I only know because I drive a Vespa around, but the golden rule is just pay attention. In the States, I would drive and I would just zone, I could just zone out. See, here you can't zone out.
This thing of falling asleep at the wheel.
That can happen in US, but not here.
That cannot happen here.
You always have to keep your eyes wide open.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I mean, you look at statistics. I'm sure statistics will tell us there's more accidents in India or whatever. But I'm just saying, from my perspective, the kind of what you call chaos is actually more sort of easier for me than the rigidity of following rules.
Coming to the film, did you guys heard about the incident before doing the film, or you just learned on the film?
Komagatamaru.
Yeah, about the Komagatamaru incident.
No, didn't know about it.
So, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's horrible. That's probably why we both wanted to do the film.
Yeah.
Because it's an important story that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many stories of the Indian, colonial times that have been told in movies, and Indians all learn in school, in history class. This is something that, this is one story that I think maybe at least outside of the Punjabi community, people don't really know about in India. And I think, it's an important story to tell, especially now because immigration is such a huge issue globally and bigger than ever before in terms of the numbers and the conflict that's going on around immigration issues. And I think this really humanizes that issue in an important way, and in a way that films really do a good job of doing.
So this film is a little bit about racism as well, right? So
maybe more than a little bit.
I think a lot about racism.
So I was also in Canada for 5 years, and I also felt like subtle racism, not that much, but
Where in Canada?
I was in Ontario, Brampton, and then Kitchener, Toronto, that area.
East, yeah.
And so, have you guys ever experienced racism in this country? Maybe a minor.
You're talking about racism against us?
Yeah.
Like reverse racism or whatever.
Yeah. So, any experience
I don't know if I'd call it racism. I mean, you experience as a foreigner in a country where there are relatively few foreigners, you experience certain kinds of bias. Usually it's a form of privilege rather than than negative bias. So I would hesitate to say I've experienced much racism at all here.
Yeah, not racism in that sense, in that context. Because I knew that when I was shooting the book, that I was getting into I was getting into places that I would never have gotten into had I been from India, you know.
It's kind of a privilege.
Yeah, it was a privilege. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, white privilege
And then,
is there.
you know, and then the tiny little flip side is that sometimes I'll get charged more for things, and I know I'm getting charged. But those are just minor, you know, it's nothing. It means nothing.
Yeah.
So it's,
How was your experience working with the cast? You know, Gurpreet Kogi, Tarseem Jassar. So, how was it working with them?
Really amazing talent and passion and dedication for the craft, I would say. Certainly with you know with Gurpreet Gugi ji and Tarsam ji he was amazing as an inspiration to work with. He does this method acting thing, right, where he's not out of character all day until pack up, and so he's not talking to anybody. I'm not talking to him. So my first day with him, I didn't talk with him. I had some really intense couple intense scenes to shoot with him. And it was like a little master class for me. And then afterwards, after pack up, he just came up to me and we had a nice chat, and he was so warm and so humble. And I know that he's a huge star actually, and he says he prefers living in Toronto actually because, you know, he has more of a less of a superstar life, you know, living outside of India, that you know, he can just get around more without attracting so much attention. I mean, that kind of fame and stardom, and yet as just a human being to talk to, he's like so humble and he's so warm. You know, we could just talk about the craft and about the scenes and about, you know, our careers and stuff, and it was really nice just getting to know him, and working with him as a professional was inspiring.
You know, there's a saying here that Punjabi and the battery charged in India. It means that the battery of Punjabis are always charged, like they're always ready to go. Have you ever felt that on the set or like
Actually,
during talk?
Ready to go, sure, but in a much more relaxed way than what we're used to in most sets in Mumbai, where the tension is usually quite intense, and the speed of what you got to do, and the amount of yelling and galis, and the just the kind of that kind of attitude is it's part of the excitement. It's part of, you know, sometimes it's part of what we like, but it's also, you know, quite a bit much. But I found that my first experience working with a Punjabi crew, there's more just warmth and acceptance, and it's a little more laid back, but no less professional, no less efficient at the same time. So I really appreciated that.
Mark, an actor, a writer, a drummer, and there was one more thing.
I forget.
Photographer.
Photographer, yeah. So what's next?
Directing.
Directing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, who's your favorite director? Like, I don't have a favorite director. I'm a cinephile, but still I don't have like a favorite director. I love like a lot of them. Do you have a?
I have a few, and not because of the last award, but Sean Baker I've loved for a couple of years, since Tangerine. Like, he's just awesome. He's awesome. Yeah.
What do you think about Scorsese or?
Oh, I mean, he's a master. He's that's just like, yeah. I mean, he's unbelievable.
I watch his films as a stress reliever, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many great ones, and there's so many great directors here as well. So, no.
Okay, thank you so much guys for giving us your time. So ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਬਣੇ ਰਹੋ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।